I did not get put on to Doechii until her Grammy performance.
Yes.
You know, I saw her and I was like, who is this girl? Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, this is Uni with Complex, and today I'm so excited for our guest because she is probably one of the most talented women in Hollywood. She's an actress, award-winning actress at that, director, winemaker now, and her most important job ever is as Ian's mother.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to welcome Regina King.
Thank you, Unique. I love that intro. That's probably my favorite intro of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so happy
Thank
about
you.
that. I watched you grow up. Not even grow up. I grew up watching you on my screen, and it amazes me that like people are still learning who you are as long as you've been in this industry. Like some people knew you since like 227. Some people learned about you from Jerry Maguire, Cinderella Story, Watchmen, and if Bill Street Can Talk. Like, what is it like having people still learning who you are?
I guess it's great because I feel like I'm not going to age out of this thing, you know, to still have people come up to me and say, I didn't know you were the character on the little boys on the Boondocks. I still get that. Like, I still have people, like, I'm today old and I'm finding out you did the Boondocks. So I think it's great because you know, you don't want to be in a situation where people are only gonna be hiring you to or collaborating with you, because that's where I am in my life now, to just you know, play the middle-aged woman. You know what I mean? That they are interested in seeing, oh, I want to see what else she can do. And, you know, so I'm still able to play a detective that can still do detective things. I can run and be physical and all those things.
But I feel like you've done such a good job at that throughout your entire career. Like, you avoided being boxed in. Because, like, you start off at Brenda, and I remember you talked about how people were like, I don't know if you can play anything else but that. But then you got cast in Boys in the Hood, and it's like, okay, she know how to play ghetto. And then they try to typecast you as that, and you're like, no. And you went to Jerry Maguire, you became the wife, and they were like, you want to play the wife? You're like, nah, I'll be the side chick on Ray. So, like, talk about, like, those strategic movements of, like, trying to make sure, like, you weren't put in a box like so many people around you probably were.
First of all, I love that you actually, like, did some research. That's awesome. No, I think that's just being an artist. You know, I have never been in this world of entertainment for any reason other than to find ways to express my art and to make people feel the way I felt when I first saw performances that made me go, oh, I want to make people feel like they're making me feel right now. I remember when I saw The Champ with Ricky Schroeder, and the first time I saw, you know, Sally Field and Sybil, Alfre Woodard, just they're just Rosalind Cash. Just first time I saw huge performances that filled me with so much emotion. I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make people feel things, you know, the way they made me feel things. So I just think that once I've played a thing, now I'm looking for what else can I be or make someone feel. So I think that's why the desire always came to not stay continuing playing a same type of character.
So right now, I feel like you're in your villain era, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess with The Harder They Fall,
yes.
Yeah, one would say that.
One would say that. Is that exciting era to like try to be in? Because you went from a superhero era.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah. Well, hey, you never know. The superhero era may come back, just a different type of superhero. I don't know. But yeah, villain is fun. It is fun. And I felt like my character in The Harder They Fall, while we were the villains, we were the gang that you would have wanted to roll with.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, the person, the gang you love to hate,
Yeah. There's this one funny story that you tell about when you were in school before you dropped out. And I just always wondered, like, did you tell your mom what you told your professor? When your professor tried
to tell me not to sleep in the class.
Yeah, and you was like, I can fuck off my money if I want to.
Yeah. No, I did not tell my mom that, and hopefully she's never going to see any of the interviews where I've told that story. No, she would probably laugh now, but no, I did not tell my mom that. I just pretty much said, Mom, I think this acting thing is going to work out. I'm going to take a gap year and really focus on the acting, and it worked out.
It definitely did.
Yeah, it worked out.
But what were your thoughts when you found out, like, John Singleton, who was at school at the same time as you did, landed the opportunity to do Boys in the Hood?
Well, it was fun fact though. Not only was John Singleton, he was a little bit older than us at USC at the same time, but Tim Story was also there. The director, Tim Story. Tim Story and I went to school from elementary school together, from elementary school to college.
That's crazy.
Yeah, elementary, junior high, high school, and I think he and I, because he was actually in film school, talked about that. He knew that this John Singleton guy is somebody. So I had heard about John Singleton, but really didn't have a reference. Tim was following more things of what people were doing prior to them being big. Like when we learn about them, they're a big deal. But he had already done his research on John, so I knew of him, but did not know how amazing he was about to be. And so I think less excitement that, we're at the same college, or because he had graduated by then. I think it was more the excitement that someone could see me as someone other than Brenda. I think that was such a gift for me. And then once, after we had done Boys in the Hood, his willingness to just share all of this about directing. And I did not realize while that was happening, that I was getting the best tutorial, the best golden information in life that I was going to employ 20 years or so later. I had no idea, so I think I'm more, once I was paying attention to John and how talented he actually was, I think I'm more always marveled at his ability to spot talent. When you think of Tupac, Taraji, he sees things that we probably don't even see in ourselves. And that's a beautiful gift to have.
I want to talk about one of the films you did with him, High Learning. There's the the infamous death of Tyra's character. What was your reaction?
I don't think my character was in any of those scenes, any of that sequence. So I didn't see it until I'm seeing the final cut. And I just remember being so impressed because, we're looking at Tyra as just a model.
Yes.
And she died beautifully, and heartbreakingly, for heartbreaking reasons that we still are witnessing, like, to this day. Isn't it crazy that that moment is pretty much being reenacted in some way in the U.S. almost every month,
yes.
Every week? It's crazy to even just take a moment and take that in, because that was like maybe 30 years ago, 35 years ago even.
I want to talk about like your character from Poetic Justice. I probably shouldn't have watched Poetic Justice when I was little, but the scene where you were cursing Chicago out on the side of the road is like one that was like instilled in my head from like a young
Oh,
age.
no.
I know it shouldn't have been, but then it's just like when I go back and play it, I hear Riley.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh,
So
that's
it's just like when you were doing the Boondocks character for Riley, were you pulling from those earlier times, or who were you pulling from?
No, actually not at all. It's interesting because I can sometimes hear how much my voice has changed, over the years. It's gotten deeper. I'm not a fan of my voice, but I definitely like my voice better now than I liked my voice when I was in my teens and 20s. I hated the way I sounded. But I was pulling from Ian.
Oh.
Just the way because when we started Boondocks, Ian might have been maybe 7 years old. So he was the age of Riley. So just the way he would breathe when he talks, it allowed me to kind of, since I'm playing brothers, they are supposed to sound similar, but they should have something different. So Riley, just the cadence was more like Ian, and Huey was a more mature version of that. So that's what I was pulling from. Even some of the writing, Ian would say some things, and I'd come back and say, "Oh my God, Aaron!" So Ian said, like, there's this one line in the Boondocks when they're talking about Ice Cube, and Riley says, "You mean the dude? That's the dude that does family movies now?" And that came from Ian. I played NWA for him, and he was like, "Who is this?" And so I'm showing him, because that's when you had CDs. So I'm showing him the CD, and he sees Cube, and he's like, "That's the dude from the family movies." And so I could not wait to go back and tell Aaron, and that ended up in one of the episodes.
I love that because like there's been a lot of moments where you pull from your real life into movies and shows. Like I know like the famous Baby Oil and Whooping Your Husband.
Yes.
And This Christmas was one of your homegirls.
Yes, our chick. That's her name.
And she actually did that to her husband?
She actually did that, yes.
What are other scenes that like are iconic that you've done that you've pulled from people in your life?
I think a bit of my character in Poetic Justice, I was pulling from my friend Kim Lincoln, because she was that girl that she would get under guys' skin because they could never beat her in the dozens. Like when you having a bagging contest, she would cook those guys, and they hated her for that. And just that confidence that she had to say whatever. Like sometimes we'd be like, "What? No, you didn't just say that." But just that that confidence, I felt, because I think my character's name was Aisha.
Yeah, it was Aisha.
Aisha. So I felt like Aisha had that Kim Lincoln confidence. You know what I mean? And there was probably a little bit of that also in Boys in the Hood. A little bit of Kim Lincoln there when Nia's character comes to the barbecue and we just crack up laughing, me and Yo-Yo. Just the obnoxious laughing in your face type thing, that was Kim. Because she know I got you. Now I'm gonna rub it in. I would say Kim has appeared in 2 films. She'll probably text me if she sees it. So like, I want my residual check.
No, I love that because like, I know like that scene from Boys in the Hood has been like going viral again, especially like on TikTok. Like people are like reclipping that and resharing
Oh wow,
it.
are
like,
they?
I've seen it a lot lately.
Boy, that TikTok is something else, man.
It is. I also want to talk to you about before you went to Southland. You said like that opened your eyes to like trust the NYPD, because like before that you grew up with the mindset like we don't trust them, if something happens we don't call them. Like if you feel like you never did that show, would your mindset have stayed the same? Or
Absolutely, especially how much we see that you can't trust, still to this day across the country. It's not even just a LA thing. But no, absolutely, my mindset would have remained the same. And there's still a part of my mindset that is still in that space. However, I think we did not look at, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, I was not looking at them as humans. I was looking at them as other than us. They not like us, And so when you have the opportunity to actually meet them and get to know them as mothers, fathers, daughters, brothers, and hear their life stories, that kind of, humanized them for me.
Speaking of They Not Like Us, I saw you drop your 7 songs of 2024. GNX and Chromacopia was up there. I want to know, like, what's going to be on your list this year so far?
Yeah, so here's the thing, that I wish I had said some of my favorite albums,
Okay.
And what I did also realize is how much I hadn't listened to. I did not get put on to Doechii until her Grammy performance.
Yes.
I saw it and I was like, who is this girl? Oh my gosh. And then went to the Spotify and was like, when did this come out? And I was like, God damn, 2024. She should have been on that list. So that I love music, and there's so much music out there. But who so far in 25 has been, I guess I'm catching up on a lot of stuff from 24, but who dropped this year that I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep thinking about it. We're gonna come back to it. We're gonna come back to that. Because for whatever reason, older things are coming up for me.
So Caught Stealing, that is your new film that you are starring in. I saw it earlier today.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Well, we can't give anything
we can't
away.
We can't give it away. But it's really good. I did not, the role that you played, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
It was a good shocker.
Yeah.
And I know you're intentional about the roles you pick. So what made you want to do this?
Honestly, when I got the call that there was interest in me playing a role in Darren Aronofsky's next film, that in itself kind of made me go, okay, because you're always kind of like wondering, what are you going to do next? The scripts are coming across your desk and they're not quite landing for you. I'm such a fan of Darren, so I said, well, let me read the script. And the film is such a departure from what we typically think about when you're thinking about one of Aronofsky's films, And so, as we kind of touched on before, I love when people go outside the box. Like, don't box me in. I can do all it. So the idea that he was doing that was exciting to me. I didn't know anyone else that was cast at all. And then I went to meet Darren because I'm in a space in my life now that I only want to work with people that I want to work with. I mean, you spend so much time when you're, shooting a film or a TV show that you want it to be enjoyable. And so met him. We talked for about an hour and a half, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can work with him. And then he told me Austin Butler was going to be the Hank play Hank. Got to meet him, and I was like, yes, this was the good call. Thank you for this coming across my desk, because he's just everything that every person thinks about Austin, because they love him, especially women love him. He's that times 30, like seriously. And then the cast just started stacking up. So there were just all of these confirmations that this was the right role to choose. And I had never played with a New York dialect, so that was going to be a huge challenge for me, and I needed to give myself, I like to give myself the challenges with roles.
I'm not gonna lie, like, because the first time I heard the dialect, I was like, wait, what? And then when I'm watching the movie, I was like, okay, I don't notice it now. But I think I was in the trailer, I was like, wait.
Yeah, wait a minute, yeah.
Wait a minute.
That'll sound like her, yeah.
No, but because then I was trying to figure out, like, which one, because the Bronx sounds a certain way, Brooklyn sounds a certain way.
But in Lower East Side is different. And that's the thing that's so cool about New York, right? For my ear, I always can tell someone from Brooklyn. Like, in just one sentence, they can say to me. Bronx, I can kind of get to, but Manhattan is, out of my ear doesn't catch it as easily. I know that it's New York, but I can't really place where they're from in New York, and I leaned into that idea, and because I had the opportunity to meet and talk to a woman that was an actual detective at that time, and she is more Harlem. She policed. That was the area that she covered, was Lower East Side, and so I definitely chose words from her to just put into my arsenal, because one of the things that I do notice is that depending on the situation that a person's in, human beings, our own dialect changes. Like I'm talking to you right now, but you might hear me talking to my mother and I may sound different. And so I learned that when I was studying Shirley Chisholm's dialect. The dialect coach made sure that I listened to all the different ways Shirley sounded in different situations. And that kind of, oh, wow. So I started paying attention to that more with all people. And so I employed a bit of that. I used a little bit of that liberty in playing Roman.